There is one thing I am sure of. It's your love that I want more of. Can't go on without thinking about you. All the things you say and all the things you do. Can't help wondering what it'd be like every night. Can't help thinking that I wasted so much time. I believe in your love. That's the one thing I am sure of. Lord, I swear if I never make another dime, I'd be rich, 'cause I had you for this time. A bullfrog jumps from the side of the log, trying to find somewhere he belongs. Now he don't see what's on the other side. Could be his maker or just the end of the line. There is one thing he will never see, how to unlock the door to life's big mysteries. I believe it's your love. That's the one thing I am sure of. Lord, I swear if I never make another dime, I'd be rich, 'cause I had you for this time. I've seen love, what it can do. Now I know it's got a hold on me too. I believe in your love. That's the one thing I am sure of. Lord, I swear if I never make another dime, I'd be rich, 'cause I had you for this time. There is one thing I am sure of.
Do you know me? Would you believe I'm Bugs Bunny? I'm also the voice of many other cartoon characters. But in here, they don't care if I'm Elmer Fudd. So I carry an American Express card, the one card I need for travel and entertaining, for business and pleasure. Why, without this, the only way I'd get any attention is by saying, that's all, folks.
Dick Dale is known as the king of the surf guitar, but not everyone is aware that he was a resident of the Inland Empire for many decades. In 1937, he was born Richard Anthony Monsoor in Boston, Massachusetts. In 1954, his family moved to Southern California. It was here that he was introduced to the surfing lifestyle, and it appealed to him. When he played electric guitar, he said he was trying to emulate the sounds he heard that the ocean waves made while he was surfing. His father promoted his music career by releasing a series of independent singles in the late 1950s and early 1960s. The IE caught on as early as July 1960 when Dick Dale's single St. Louis Blues made an appearance on the KFXM Wax to Watch survey at the number 47 position. In the early 1960s, Dick Dale began staging his own appearances in the IE. He held many of these dance concerts at the National Guard armories in both Riverside and San Bernardino. It was during these appearances that he made a lasting impression on a number of local musicians. Fontana's Sammy Hagar has said, "Dick Dale was my first big influence." In his 2012 book, Red, My Uncensored Life in Rock, he wrote about hitchhiking to Riverside just to see Dale perform at the Armory. Colton's Jim Messina was another early Dick Dale disciple. Recently, he was quoted as saying, "Dick Dale had the assault rifle of a guitar. We would stand in front of the stage in awe." He based his early guitar style on Dale's instrumental pyrotechnics. When Messina formed his IE surf music band, The Jesters, he made sure that he acquired a white Fender Stratocaster guitar, just like his heroes. Redland's surf rock instrumental band, The Tornadoes, were also likely inspired by the recordings and local appearances of the king of the surf guitar. In September of 1961, Dick Dale released a hugely influential single. Let's Go Tripping is widely considered by most music critics as the first surf music instrumental. With this release, he achieved his first Inland Empire #1 hit when it reached the top of the KFXM Fabulous 59 survey. By February 1962, Dick Dale and the Deltones had outgrown the armories and municipal auditoriums of the IE, and they headlined a concert at the legendary Swing Auditorium in San Bernardino. In early 1962, Dale drew from his Lebanese background and recorded the Eastern Mediterranean folk song Misirlou, giving it a surf rock spin. It was to become his signature song. It became his second #1 Inland Empire hit when it reached the top of the K-Mundus 10 survey in mid-November 1962. In late 1962, Dale released his next single, Peppermint Man. The 45 became his third IE #1 hit of 1962. To promote his upcoming IE concerts, he made a personal appearance at the Sages Del Rosa store. Dick Dale headlined KFXM's 4th annual March of Dimes benefit show and dance at the Swing Auditorium on February 3, 1963. He headlined over such other notable groups and individuals as the Beach Boys, Jan and Dean, the Rivingtons, and Dobie Gray. Unfortunately, disturbances took place both during and after the concert. In an article appearing in the 2/7/63 edition of the San Bernardino Sun newspaper, an inspector from the county sheriff's department described the disturbance as a full-scale riot. He said the fighting was spontaneous and probably caused by overcrowding of the venue. More on the Inland Empire years of Dick Dale in Part 2.
the novelist, is John Gardner. The first line of the book, someone asks him, well, how did I become a writer? And he just goes, write.
Well, it's interesting too, because by writing, the more you write, the more material you have. And I think sometimes I'll write something down and I'll think, oh, this has some potential. And then, and I'll get sort of excited and keep writing and put it in the computer and then let it go for a few days and then come back to it and so forth. But most of the time, what I write sounds like crap. That's like, oh God, oh, what am I going to write today? And I just I just write things, I just put words together, I string words along to do that. And then a month later, I'll look back through my journal and I'll see this phrase and I'll say, wow, that is really interesting. And then I'll see another phrase and then I'll pull them together and string them along, and then a poem comes along. So I think sometimes in the moment, we can't see the value of what it is that we've said or that we've created until you step away a little bit and give it a soft focus. You know what I mean? If you're concentrating really hard, it's tough sometimes to understand what you're going to do with it.
At the moment, or anything I've written, I always think is the greatest song that's ever been invented. Then I wake up the next morning and the reality will, light will come over. But but it is the notion of completing. And again, for any people who will be listening to this who want to be creative, is that there's a discipline. There's no magic about that. Is that you have to put in time in the words and I think the pattern of a dedication before the best words are going to come.
Right.
So poems in this collection, do they stretch to the entire 8 years, or are they things that all kind of bunched up over the last 4 years?
These are poems that were written, the last ones were written maybe, 2021 now? Mm-hmm. Maybe they were written 4 years ago. And it's interesting because my writing has changed quite a bit, keeps evolving.
Right.
So these poems that I wrote then, I might not write now, or they might be different. So it's interesting to look back, and sometimes you go, ooh, well, I would, if I encountered this poem in a workshop, this is what I do with it. It's funny.
Start to work it over.
Yeah, start to work it over. But that's the beauty of poetry, is you can, it's sometimes like at the reading that I did last week. Yeah. I changed a couple of words. I changed some syntax on a couple of poems because I liked the way it sounded better, the way I wanted to read it. And, it was still the same poem, but.
Yeah. Maybe the language, and maybe that's the reason I was asking if these are newer or older poems, because I said this could be like her Leaves of Grass, because I could see her that the broad ideas, the broad construct that this is part of being Greek, part of a culture, part of a honoring honoring this literary history too.
Yeah,
that those things, that's still an open book. In the intro, in the blurb, where Marge Piercy is mentioned, and because I read her name, and I went to the library and I found on the way out, turn off the light, and then but then I looked at her, and then I found a poem called Argos decades ago for Anastasia. With I spoke Greek after too long. What's that all about?
Oh, I took a class with her. She does a workshop every year in Wellfleet, Massachusetts, on Cape Cod. And it's a jury, you have to send her a manuscript, and she accepts like 12 students. Wow. So I went in 2015. And when she accepted my work, she let me know that she had lived in Greece, that she had spoken Greek, and what an important time of her life that was. And so we became friends. And she wrote that poem shortly after that week in Wellfleet, and she emailed it to me, and I have it on my mantelpiece in the living room. And that's really nice. What a lovely surprise. You know, she's a brassy, shoots from the hip kind of woman, you know, but she has such a big heart, and she's so supportive of other writers. Oh, that's really nice. That's so nice.
Well, it just hit me in such a nice way, because in the poem, it's like these two people who are walking in the sun, and they're in Greece, and they're eating, and then these like a goat comes up to them, and then a circle of goats, and they're all surrounded and eating this bread. I just like the goats. So.
Well, if this just kind of touched something, I'll read you a poem about the island of Tinos. Tinos is it's kind of a holy island to the Greeks. And Greeks go there in August for the feast day of the Virgin Mary, because there's a church that's dedicated to the Virgin Mary at the top of a hill from the center of town. And she is this Mary, this mother, Virgin Mother, heals the sick. So pilgrims come to the island of Tinos to pray to Mary for healing of their sick loved ones or of themselves. And they climb on their hands and knees up the hill to the church. So this is about that. Tinos, August 2012. The island holds dust like a bowl, but not for long. When the wind cracks, the sand snakes. The priest's shutters are open. The rooster blusters the morning sun. In the center of the powdery town, a modern-day Sisyphus ascends to the Virgin Mary's church on hands and knees, the bone he has to pick with God between his teeth. Dust in his lungs, his coarse face is flooded blood hot. A scrim of heat rises off his back like a mirage. We walk the sandy roads hand in hand and observe the sacred contour. We stop for bread, tomatoes, cheese, a bottle of water. We bow our heads, having never been hungry.
In fact, you have two versions of Nike Adjusting Her Sandal. There's two versions of the poem in the book.
So this idea of her body kind of showing through the fabric, the outline of the woman's body through the fabric, and this idea of the play of light and shadow. As I was thinking about that, somehow I ran across Plato's allegory of the cave.
Right.
And that is, you know, a group of people are chained to a wall of a cave, and there's a fire behind them, and there's a light cast on the wall in front of them. And there are people and activities behind them, and, you know, life going on, but they don't see reality for what it is. All they see is the reflection on the wall of the cave. And so I played with that idea in the first Nike Adjusting Her Sandal, and I can read that right now. Nike Adjusting Her Sandal. It was Plato who did not say, but surely reflected, shadows conscript the sun to show true form. You stop, breathless, water folds down the front of your body, the dim fabric of a chitin. You balance on one leg. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the sculpture.
Talk about this antenna that you have up, that you are very, very lucky as a songwriter because you're receiving songs.
So I think it's about time we hear another one. Mac, what are you going to do second?
Late Talent Hour.
Okay, and give me a little summary of Late Talent Hour. What
This is the folkier side of the Dangers. This is us being the Grateful Dead with a little bit of rock and roll and new wave in it.
I can't wait to hear this one. All right, let's go.
Showers over the circus is late talent hour. Flies through the skyline, electrical every time. Come on, you love lights, shine, please shine. Those become fireflies, they spin through the towers. Play Sugar Mountain, that's late for this hour. Come, won't you play for us? Come spend the day with us. Come spend the night, won't you lay us asleep? Late Talent Hour. Bounce to the skyline, electrical every time. Come on, you love lights, shine, please shine, shine, please shine. Bring out your memories, no cowards, no doubters. To cross Sugar Mountain takes more than an hour. Come, won't you play for us? Come spend the day with us.
Hey folks, thanks for hanging out at the Lo-Fi Lounge. We'll see you all next week. Wait, we got one more thing.
Beauregard's Retreat. Okay, this is a song that I wrote when I first moved to Colorado 10, 11, 4, 6, 12 years ago, whatever it was. It's my little love song to Colorado. Was caught between the northern lights and Mars. He lost his faith, lost his way, and drifted down to Zanzibar. He fell in love with a Peace Corps girl. She turned him right around. Home was where they lay their heads. Home was anywhere they heard this sound. You've got the melody, you've got the night. Don't let that daily news distract you from the light. Take hold of someone's hand, you know the song. Just close your eyes and know you're right where you belong. Well, look there, darling, can't you see? Meteors dancing for you and me. We'll put out the fire and brew some tea. Look how they light up the evergreens. From a brand new tire to a boulder down the road. We shouted to St. Christopher. He pulled up in his Ford to take us home. 'Cause he's got the melody, he's got the night. You don't let that daily news distract him from the light. Take hold of someone's hand, 'cause you know the song. Just close your eyes and know you're right where you belong. take the wheel. The ship's on fire and stars are falling down, and Magellan's passed out on the ground. Crossing through the Rockies, but the horses were too slow. Pass the blanket, say your prayers. We'll sing away this bitter wind and snow. 'Cause we've got the melody, we've got the night. Don't let that daily news distract you from the light. Take hold of someone's hand.